These interviews were scheduled already for your wrestling promotion, right?
Oh, months ahead of time, yeah. Because you got to, like Howard Stern has several guests. If you want to get on his show, and good luck getting on there, you know, you have to schedule it months in advance.
How did you find out that there's a tape? Like, when did you first... I'd heard rumors there was a tape of
yeah, it's been in the air for a while.
Yeah.
Let me think for a second. Was it about 6 months ago or 7 or 8 months ago? God, who told me?
Yeah, who breaks the news?
I can't remember who told me.
Did you, like someone calls you up and says, hey, there's a tape of you fucking Heather.
No, that wasn't said. There was, first off, I'd never made a tape. I never said,
you swear you were not in on this?
I swear to God I wasn't.
Because some people have the theory, there's 3 theories floating around. One theory is Bubba made the tape. He, like, that's his thing. He gets off on someone, he gets off on someone else fucking his wife, and he saw that, you know, he tapes this stuff with a hidden camera. That's one theory. The other theory is that, like, maybe Heather and Bubba were into it, and that was their thing, taping it. And then the third theory is that you were in on it, and you're like, hey, let's release this fucking thing, and we're going to make a ton of money. Because
why would I wait 6 years?
I don't know.
Brother, I wasn't in. I swear to God, I had no idea. You know,
you didn't know you were being taped?
No, sir.
Because if you were being taped also, you wouldn't be on there talking about how, hey, I feel so fat, I just ate another meal or something like that, right? I mean, you would probably be a lot more...
And I'm not trying to be a really pompous ass, but, you know, I'm going to say something right now I'm probably going to live to regret. You know, and this thing has totally upended my world, but the situation I was in, I didn't want to be overly aggressive, right? Because it was my friend's girl, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yes, things could have been to a whole nother level, and I was trying to be cool, you know.
What do you mean? I'm not getting this.
He was being polite. He was being gentle.
Thank you, Rob.
You mean you didn't want a banger?
No.
You didn't?
You know, when I wrestle guys in the ring, guys that are my friends, I'm cool with. Guys that aren't my friends, I get really much more aggressive.
Well, I don't understand what you're saying. How come I'm not catching on?
Well, because I'm, you know, I was just trying to be...
Robin, what does Hulk Hogan mean?
He was laid back. It was just sort of like a draining the pipes as opposed to a full-on...
affair.
Yeah, he wasn't in there doing what he really does.
Well, you're saying that, in other words, your performance would have been way more intense.
I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying it was a bad situation.
Oh, I get what you're saying now. You're saying, hey, when I bang a chick who I'm, you know, really into, I behave a certain way in the bedroom.
No, everything was off. You know, it was, I felt, you know, I felt guilty about being there. You know, I should have.
So Bubba said to you, hey, what's mine is yours. She's up for it. Go ahead. It's not going to upset me. But it does change the relationship. But, I mean, that was awfully nice of him and her, I guess, in a way, right? In a sense.
You know, I considered both people close friends, you know.
Right.
There was ongoing dialogue for over 2 years.
About this kind of thing.
This. And I said, honestly, just give me a break. Stop. You're joking. It was almost to a point of being funny.
Right.
And then when I bottomed out, when my whole personal life was, you know, I was in a bad situation with, you know.
The divorce?
Oh, it was even before then. It was just, I'd been, you know, this thing's over, you know, you're too old, you're too slow, I'm moving on. You know, it's
made you feel good.
No, it wasn't even that. It was just, I knew my marriage was really screwed up bad.
Right.
And I had been, and you know, until I went to the divorce, I didn't believe all this stuff, that there's such thing as verbal or mental abuse.
Right.
I didn't realize that, you know, because...
Yeah, plus you're the big wrestler.
Yeah, plus, yeah, but you know, at the end of the day, it's once I realized, you know, what was going on, I said, okay, and I'm not trying to make an excuse other than I was beaten down like a dog, and...
You were feeling low and you were looking for comfort too.
I wasn't even doing that. My wife, you know, had just made a decision that she'd gone back to California. I was at home with the racing team that we had at the time, the drifting team.
Right.
And it was just one of those things that after a phone call, which was this, that, and the other, and done, over with, F this, F that, F you, click. I just, you know, went by Bubba's to say, hey, bro, I'm going to hang out. And it just was one of those moments I said, the hell with it.
I'm going to go for it.
Just, and it was, you know, it was a huge, horrible decision. It's totally, never dreamed in a million years there would be a camera in Bubba's house.
First things first, how many times have you been on the Howard Stern Show?
Maybe 3, maybe 4.
Can you explain to the jury, I mean, there was obviously some graphic language,
Yes,
the way the conversation goes was completely different than the Showbiz Tonight stuff. Can you just explain to the jury what it's like going on those shows, your expectations as a guest?
Well, Howard Stern is a show where you have to take the good with the bad. The good part is if you're lucky enough to get on the show, it kind of predicts what we call the New York media swing. It also influences all the shows in Los Angeles. If you're good enough, or Howard thinks you're worthy enough to get on his show, then it kind of opens up a lot of the other doors, like Imus or other people such as Wendy Williams might take you on the show. If you get on Howard Stern, that's the good part. The bad part is he's going to destroy you when you're on there. And I already knew going on the show, because I'd been on there a couple times before, that he just tears into you and just destroys you. So you got to take the good with the bad. And once again, Howard Stern is like Bubba. Off camera, he's the nicest guy in the world. On America's Got Talent, he's a different character other than the Howard Stern on the radio. So when you walk in there, you know what you're in for. And it was just a situation. I had just gotten the news a couple days before I went on this media tour that was scheduled, that all of a sudden this whole thing with Bubba's going down in the tape. So I went on there and was just trying to explain as best as I could, thinking on my feet that this is what happened with Heather. And at that point, I still was holding out hope that Bubba did not do this to me. No one had proved to me yet that Bubba had done this. All I knew was that Gawker had put some sex tape up that I didn't know about, that was filmed illegally, and I was praying to God that Bubba didn't have anything to do with it. So I was trying to get through the interview, hopefully get to the point where I could talk about TNA, Total Nonstop Action Wrestling, Bound for Glory, the reason I was booked there anyway. And that's what the Howard Stern show is. It's kind of like it's kind of like the cost of doing business. When you're in the entertainment business and you need to go on all these media things, you never know what question you're going to get asked. So that's why I was there on the Howard Stern show, and that's why the content of the show is just so graphic and so vulgar that that's what you know what you're going to get there. Now, if I was on America Got Talent, Howard Stern's other show, and I walked on stage and I said, hey, I'm here to tell you guys about Bound for Glory, none of that stuff would have been talked about. But when he's in a Howard Stern character and I'm there as Hulk Hogan as a character, it's hard to address these type of situations and get through it. And I tried the best I could.